much as you are very excited and impatient to not leave, but like to listen to the last presentation and sharing. I am very excited as well to share with all of you, about my findings and my experience using the ASCE. So I think the messages that is being delivered by Dr. Michael Gold is something that I also hold on to myself. And before I start sharing my presentation, I would like to thank Mr. Cho and also Mr. J, the distributor of ASCE in Indonesia. Why? Because I am really hard to convince. That's why I'm still single now. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a hint, guys. Okay, and I'm really hard to convince. So I'm very skeptical, but not as skeptical as the United States doctors. And the last thing is, I want to be, even though I like to joke around, but I want to be a reputable dermatologist. Because I am one of the faculty in a private medical school in Jakarta, Indonesia. And I want to have the younger generation of doctors to be reputable. So I have to set a good example to them. So every time when a company offers me something to try, and they are trying to convince me that their products are good, the first things that I asked from them are, where are your studies? I do not believe just they mention big names, big clinics using the products. I believe in studies, I believe in publications, and I thank you, Mr. Cho, for having so many studies with reputable names. And when I saw so many reputable doctors contributing to the studies, including Dr. Suparuj, Dr. Michael Gold, and Dr. Duncan, and so many other reputable names, and all the awards that ASCE EXOCOBIO has received. Then after like how many years, Mr. Jane? You tried to convince me? I think yeah. And then I convinced. I was convinced to try first. As I told you, I'm quite a skeptical person. So I think my result, my experience is still baby compared to Dr. Suparut and all other speakers here. But one message that I want to deliver to all of you here, that you are in the right place. And I think you have chosen one of the best products that is giving a promising results, not only for aesthetic treatments, but also for other treatment that I'm going to share a little bit later. And before that, before we are applying something to our patients, to ourselves, we should really understand how does this thing works. And we are very lucky to have so many doctors and so many scientists who have studied this so far, so that I do not have to spend my time to learn about the markers of the senescent cells, the markers of inflammatory cells, and this and that. And we can just apply this to our practice. Okay, so let us give a very big round of applause for the EXOCOBIO and also for the ASCE. Okay, so this is, because I'm a dermatologist, so what I'm going to cover is mostly based on the dermatological studies. And this is the outline of what I'm going to present, why, what, how, when, and where. This is something that they always tell me when I was in primary school, in my school when I was little. So, because before everything was so serious, I'm not going to cover about a very scientific ones. So why are exosomes interesting? Because they're awesome, really? But based on the previous lectures, you can say that they are actually magnificent. There are a lot of things to be explored, and yes, they are awesome. And also the rise of regenerative medicine in aesthetic. We know that we are shifting now from volumizing to a regenerative medicine. We are trying to expand the cell life longer. We are trying to get a healthier cells. So, and this is another publications that I tried to write about skin boosters, including the exosomes. And what is exosome actually? So this is something also that I put on my slide. Once a garbage. So anyone here who is getting dumped by your boyfriend and girlfriend, do not worry. Your life is not over. So it's like exosome from something that was thought was a trash. It could be something that is very useful. So we just need to find the potential of the exosome itself, that we could apply it in our practice. So I will not talk so much about the exosome itself. We know that it is something that a messenger for communicating between cells to cells. So what I can explain it to our patients, I will simplify it by saying, you know what is the beauty of using exosome? It can tell the other cells what do the other parts of the body needs. So they could be producing the pro-inflammatory cytokines for wound healing. However, if there is some inflammation going on, very severe, they can also produce a macrophage 2 that creates the anti-inflammatory and T regulator, which can exert anti-inflammatory effect into certain extent, but it does not disturb, it does not interrupt with the wound healing processes. Okay, so just skip this part. We know that it has the mRNAs, and also it also has the proteins and the lipids for anti-inflammation and all this, the good stuffs the exosome have. And how do they work? Based on the studies, it is shown that it creates collagen and also elastin. And also it has work on the hair shafts, it reduces inflammation. And for me, inflammation is something that is very important. The anti-inflammatory effect of the exosomes is something that is very important. Why? The climate changes, it creates a very, very different effect on someone's environment. The reactive oxygen species, the inflammaging, the foods, the chemicals, all creates inflammation. So we need something that could attenuate the inflammatory processes in the body and also on the skin. And also the anti-aging effect, because it works in senescent cells. And other than that, you know what is the most, for me, the most magnificent effect of the ASC or adipocyte stem cell derived is that it works on the hypoxic cells. So the hypoxic cells, the wound healing in hypoxic cells, only the adipocyte stem cell derived has effect on the wound healing process in the hypoxic condition. So these are the studies that has been published about the exosome, how it works on the adipose tissue, how it works on the skin after the microneedle, how it works also on the inflammatory skin diseases such as atopic dermatitis. And according to these studies, I am curious. So as I mentioned earlier, I use this mostly for its anti-inflammatory effect. So other than the formolasma, my experience with ASC, I say that I mentioned this as experiencing ASCE. Patient, female, 31 years old. She has a recalcitrant acne. She works as a sales marketing, so appearance is something very important to her. And she has a problem with active acne and erythema post-acne. And after being treated with 2 weeks interval of 2 sessions with microneedle RF, she has a good result with ASCE. And then another patient, he is a male, 30 years old. He is a CrossFit athlete, so he cannot take a very long downtime with any treatments. And her skin Fitzpatrick is type 4. And we tried to treat him with microneedle RF and subcision, and then use the ASCE topically. With one session of ASCE only, he has a better skin texture, as you can see here. So the enlarged pores are getting better, and also the scarring area and the PIH here are getting better. Only one time treatment with exosome after treated with MRF. And this is another patient. I found that this result was impressive. He is a male, 36 years old, as sales marketing, with skin Fitzpatrick type 5, which is very hard to treat for acne scars, because I do not want to be aggressive. I do not want him to live with another problem, which is PIH. So as you can see here, he has acne scar. And after 2 sessions of MRF with ASCE, microneedle RF with ASCE, we can see the result here. For me, it is impressive, because he has been treated so many times with picosecond laser, ablative picosecond laser, and after only 2 sessions of MRF, microneedle RF, and ASCE, he has a remarkable results. And this is an actress. She is female, 33 years old. Her problem is she has to be exposed to the lights very often. So it is a problem for her skin tone, and slightly melasma on her lateral cheek areas, and also the skin tone unevenness. So after 3 sessions of treatment with microneedle RF and ASCE, she has a brighter skin tone. And also the PIH, as you can see here, started to improve. And the slight melasmic lesions here is improving. And also the skin tone are getting more even. And last but not least, so I think this is one of the most remarkable results from ASCE. So for this patient, I am a bit emotional now. He's 79 years old, bedridden, so it's very hard to treat. Energy-based devices, we cannot provide this for him. He had a bed sore, bedridden. So after 1 to 2 weeks interval with 4 sessions of only topical ASCE, it starts to grow tissue after the 3 times treatment. Thank you, Mr. Cho, for telling me on the protocol of using this. And this is after the 4th treatment, 2 weeks after the 4th treatment. And having this kind of improvement of bed sores in the patient, it does not only improve the quality of life of the patient itself, but it also improves the quality of life of the family who is taking care of the patients. So what is very impressive with ASCE is that they were unaffected by prolonged hypoxia. That means it can also be used in chronic wounds such as bed sores. And as a conclusion, I finished fast. Okay, I'm glad that you're all still awake. Yeah, so I think regenerative medicine is on the rise, and exosome is a promising modality that fulfills the need of regenerative medicine. However, further studies are needed to gather more information, and last but not least, the source is very important to know that if the exosome works on your patients, on the skin diseases, on the aesthetic results that you want to give to your patients. Thank you very much. I hope I delivered well.